Well, let's just say my musical education officially began when I got turned on to 50s rock and roll and doo-wop via my mom as a kid in the 80s. My world was in black and white until I heard Elvis, and then color started coming into my life, and the rest is history. And aside from that, my older brother was a big hard rock and heavy metal fan, so he had a lot of vinyl from mid to late 70s hard rock like Aerosmith and Kiss and Grand Funk and all of that stuff, and the new wave of British heavy metal stuff, Ozzy and Iron Maiden, Judas Priest. So that's really what got me going, and somewhere along the lines I picked up the guitar. My mom played a bit of acoustic guitar, so I would ask her to show me chords and stuff, and that's really how it started. My first guitar was a mini acoustic, which I bought at the airport in the Philippines, in a place called Cebu, and they're known for making acoustic guitars. They make really good ones. You gotta luck out though. There's you'll find a gem in every 10. That was my first guitar, and my mom also had a Yamaha classical guitar. I think it was made in Spain, and it was a really good one too. And every so often I'd get to, dig it up from one of the cabinets and tinker, strum on chords and stuff. So those were my first guitars. Razorback started. It started with a bunch of guys having fun. My older brother Miguel and a family friend of ours, Tirso Ripoll, they wanted to form a band, and it was really just a bunch of us jamming in the house. And I was a kid back then, so I was just tagging along. And eventually we started doing parties, and eventually got a regular gig at a club, and it just sort of took on a life of its own. And up to this day, the band's still going strong. So it's one of those things. It just naturally came to be, and that's just how it was. And it was honest and real, and it's still going. Well, I was always I was always a guitar player. I've been a guitar player for almost 20 years. But I also I like to I love words. I love words. I love the English language. I love the Filipino language. I love Tagalog, and I like to write. I always like to write, on my own time. And when I listen to music, I love a good lyric. And it just at some point it just made sense to just sing my own lyrics. And I'm a big fan of singer-songwriters like Bruce Springsteen and Tom Petty. You know, um, those guys, and I think it's just a whole different, just another avenue where you can take your music. ADD is a project that also came about very naturally. A good friend of mine, Wolf Emora, who was currently in the band Wolfgang, would practice at their band's rehearsal space, probably about once a week, I'd say, twice a week. And it wasn't too far from where I was living. So I started just hanging out. Whenever he'd practice, he'd be practicing his drums by himself, playing along to a CD, like Tenacious D or something like that. And it just made sense for me to start showing up with my guitar and amp, and we just started knocking out riffs and recording the music on a crappy little boombox. and we'd each have a copy, and I'd take one in my car, and I just started writing lyrics to it, and we just decided to record it. I think it's a good 8-9 songs, and we were lucky enough to be able to sneak in our friend's studio whenever it wasn't booked out, and we slowly pieced together this, I guess you could call it an album. And that was about 10 years ago now. And we've recently dug up the master. I came across the CD, and we're looking to put it out in some form, online or otherwise. Maybe even tour it. One thing though that I will say is that seeing a lot of acts live has really added a lot to my musicality. I've become a much better fan, and I think that's the most important thing. If you're a bigger fan of music, you're a better. You have more to share. You have more to give back, I think, because you're experiencing it. You're really savoring everything that's being shared with you, that's being served to you. And I think that's, seeing all these concerts, which I didn't get to do in my youth. Coming out here, living in California, and getting to see Rush when they come to town, or getting to see Tom Petty in the Hollywood Bowl, or AC/DC, you name it. Just getting to see these guys live. There's it's really inspiring, and at the same time it's a reminder that we're all the same. We're all the same in music. We're all here to give what we have to give, whether you're Chris Cornell or you're one of us in a garage creating from scratch. It's all the same thing, man. Whether you're playing a small club or you're playing a big arena, it's all the same thing. And it's just good to be reminded of that. The band Three-Headed Dog, we've been slowly piecing together a full-length album here at our house, in the garage, in the bedrooms, in the laundry room, in the living room, wherever we can get some quote-unquote quiet time. So we've been doing it ourselves, and getting really cool results. And we've released the first installment, which is a 4-song EP. It's you can grab it online, or you can come to the shows, and we have CDs for sale. And we're in the process of finishing the next batch. It's all going to eventually lead up to the full album. Actually, we're not even sure if we're going to release a next batch of 4 songs or just finish the whole thing. But it's just a fun process, and that's what we've got in front of us right now.